and welcome. This is Ruth, and I've had a little look back at these two die sets and I'm going to make something else with them. This is the Beautiful Baboushka and the Beautiful Baboushka die sets, and they make these beautiful nesting dolls, and you can see these are my samples here, and I'll link the video down below to show you how I made those, but they're really pretty little things. Anyhow, I had another thought, and I've tried it all out and it definitely works. I'm going to make penguins with these because I know you love to get extra mileage out of your die set now, and this is just another little idea that will give you something else you can try, just a little bit novel with this die set. Anyway, this was sitting, these were all lined up in my living room, sitting along the mantelpiece, believe it or not, because that's where I took a photograph of them for my initial video. And I was just having a look and I thought, I definitely could adapt those dies. I thought some of these ones for down the sides as well I could make little flippers with, and there's one there that I could make for the feet. So I'm going to go off and do some die cutting, all in black card and some white glitter card, and I will be back very soon, and I hope you enjoy this. If you want to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, that'll keep you up to date with all of these videos, because quite often I come back with second videos on some of the die sets that you might already have, and you would miss those if you're not subscribed and haven't got the notification coming to you. So I hope you would think about doing that too. These won't take as long to make up as the other ones because there's no paper piecing or anything. We're sticking to black and white and then just a couple of little accents of orange and red on it. So you will only need to cut out this piece here. So that's the part that makes up the head and the top part. And then you'll need one of those in each size. I've already gone ahead and I've got lots of bits and pieces all cut out in the other sizes. So my sample one that I'm making right now is going to be the middle-sized one. So I have one of these, that's the larger one of that shape, and then I've got 6 of these pieces. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and make the little base, but just remember at the same time you can go ahead and make them all at the same stage if you want, or just make one and come back. Now we're also going to need a little hexagon for each as well. So all we do is put the hexagon down, and then all of these little glue tabs, which I've already burnished, will get folded over and glued right in there the whole way around, and that's our first stage. When it comes to this stage and you have them all glued around, you'll see all the glue tabs are visible on this side, but at the end I'm going to put another piece over that to cover that, another little hexagon. So all you need to do now is put glue on all of these tabs and join these up, and as you go just remember that you're going to overlap each one of these on the way around. So if you want to keep them all going the same way, we'll have the right one over the top, the right one over the top, the right one over the top, and just work your way the whole way around that, and then they'll all be coordinated properly. So glue on there first of all, and we'll glue that together, but at the same time I'm going to put glue on the back of that, and to me that's the right one from where I'm looking, and that will go over the top of the next one, and I just continue that the whole way around. So this piece is going on there and that's going over the top, and just take your time and make sure that you've got all of that in the right place and the glue's all dried before you go. It's as simple as that. It's so easy. Glue on this one, and then the right one is going over the top of the next one, so glue on there. And there you have it. I just went ahead and made the other two at the same time because they're exactly the same, only different sizes. So now I'm going to do the same thing with the tops of these. So I've got this piece cut out for the middle-sized one, this one for the big one, and this one for the smaller one. And I'm going to show you through the medium-sized one again. So I have burnished all of these little score lines, folded them all back in the whole way along, and this is actually really easy. The only bit that takes a little bit of manipulation is when you come to add this piece together. So all I'm going to do now is very carefully just put glue on here and here, and just make sure you don't get any of the glue on the outside of the black. It will mark it a wee bit, I think, anyway, so just be really careful. So just hold that on right on top. I'm going to push that little bit of glue in, and there you have it. And then you can follow that right round until you get all of these sides joined, and leave these tabs on the outside at the minute because you don't need to do anything with those yet. And now just overlap these top areas here. Now I would say while you're going through that, if you do happen to get any glue on your hands while you are working with the black card, it's really worthwhile just taking an extra minute or two to get that cleaned off before it marks the card, because glue and black card are notorious for that sort of thing, for leaving marks on it whenever you think you have it all finished, and then you see a little sticky mark at the end, and it just spoils the whole thing. So at this stage, just make sure in between times that you clean all the glue off your hands. And just like with the last piece, I've got my 3 ready, and they actually look like helmets, don't they? I'm sure you could think of another use for those as well. Right, now we're going to add these pieces on. So I've got 1 cut for each of these again. That's the tiny one, that's the larger one, and this one here. So what we're going to do is just start at this edge here and glue the whole way up to the top, and then press this piece down and hold that in place, and then move on down the other side, and that way you get more of a curve at the top. So just do one side at a time. And then when that glue has dried, just follow right on round to the other side. But that way, if you just hold it nice and slowly at each point of that one, right up that side, you'll get that all in place and get the top nice and smooth. Then you can add glue just inside here at that top tab on the next part, and push the top part out there to match that. Hold that for a second or two until that one grabs, and oops, and then just continue right round. But just don't rush that top part so that you get it all held in place properly over this part, this join here. I've gone ahead and I've got the 3 of the bases ready. That's the penguin bodies, and you can see there that I have die cut these pieces in the white glitter card, this sugar crystal glitter card. So that's this area, and then the same one for the middle one, and the smaller one then for the tiny one. So I'm going to go ahead and use those now, but I am not going to glue them on just directly because I do need to adapt these a little bit. So if you see what that looks like when you put that straight on there, the bigger one, and then the one that I'm going to, actually we'll just stick with this middle one at the minute. They're all going to be exactly the same thing in the long run, but just right now I want to show you this piece. So moving on to this piece, if I set that piece on, you'll see that it really needs a little bit of adaptation. So I'm going to cut just a little V in there, a little curved V at the top, and then come down to where the face would come in, just like that, and cut a little curved bit out of there, and then I'll show you how to make sure you get exactly the same thing on the other side. But if you take a little pen or a little pencil, you can mark a little bit out at the top there. So that's how it looks at the top, and you really only need to take a little piece out, but you can round those curves off just up there and get it looking something like that. And it doesn't have to be just exactly the same as that, you just adapt it to how you feel yourself. But I feel where this curve comes round like this, that would sort of follow in like that, and that then would be where I was going to have the little piece cut in for what I would call the neck. Now I've drawn a little curve in there, as I said, and if you're not confident of doing that straight onto your glitter card, just take a little scrap of white card or white paper and make a little template, and you can play around with that for a minute or two until you get it right. But it's actually quite easy. Once you get that piece cut, you don't need to do the other side just yet. Just follow that curve in around there. Now you just take the little piece that you cut out of there, flip your card over to the front, and you can go ahead and even just glue that on. It's fine because you're going to cut it off again anyhow. Match it up there so that the curve is coming in the same place, and that way whenever you cut this curve off, it's going to give you exactly the same as what you cut out there, and you just follow that around. Then when we come to the bottom here, I'm just going to round off these little corners. Just rounded these off, and again, as I say, if you want to make a little template, go ahead and do that just an ordinary card, and then you can replicate it onto your glitter card. But when you've got that cut out, instead of putting this up here and leaving a white border, a black border around there, this time you want to just glue that right down into there, and then it looks more, well, it looks more penguiny, I think, because you're not having that black gap between that and the next two bits of white down here. So you can go ahead and just glue that right on there, and then do the same thing for your other two penguins. They definitely get more penguiny by the moment, don't they? Now I've gone back to the die that I used to make the complete base with, and I've cut that out in glitter card. And you can see already here I have cut off this glue tab, and one of these, and then I have rounded this corner here. So that's what it looks like now, and then that's the little bit that I cut off, so you can see just exactly where that fits on there. So then I take the same die and I've cut another piece out here, and I've just cut all the glue tabs off that, and I want this to look exactly the same over on the other side. So I'm just going to flip that over, set it on here, and follow that curve the whole way around there. Now I'm going to bring in this piece, and you can see here already where this is going to go. This goes on here, with that on there, and this gets glued on here. Going back to the die set then, I'm just going to put some black card in behind this area and this area and cut these out, and I need to cut one out for each size, so two sets, so it's one of the left and one of the right for the small, medium and large, and then cut that in black card, and then I'll adapt that, and those will be the flippers. I've cut those two bits out, and I have cut off all the glue tabs, and that has left me with this shape and the mirroring one, and you can see on this one here I have just rounded that off. So I went to, you can go up this long side here and you'll feel a little bump there, and I rounded that off and brought it back down to where this little bump is here. So when you've done that on one, you know, if you're not sure about doing that, I'm quite sure you could just cut it off at a little angle and put it on. It shouldn't be a problem. But anyhow, I have got both of these, as I say, and one's going this way, one's going the other, and I just want to make sure that I have everything in the same place on the other one. So I'm just going to lay that one on top again and follow that curve around. And if you don't want to just do it straight with the scissors, you can just mark it with a pencil and cut it out. Now, that has given me my flippers, but flippers or wings? Wings? Yeah. Anyway, I want to put them on, and I just really want a little curve on them, so I'm just going to do this because I do like them to turn out a little bit at the bottom. And again on this side, just like that. And even if that's too much, I'll not need to worry too much, I'll just nip that off. But then those can get glued on just about there, opposite where that neck is. So that will go on there and there. And then you'll do that for the other ones as well, and the other sizes. I'm just going to go ahead and cut out some bits and pieces for the little face and whatnot, and I'm going to use some of the dies from that and a little hole punch as well. But I just want to remind you at this stage that if you were wanting to pop those inside each other, the way the dolls work, that you might need to cut these a little bit smaller, or certainly you'll not be able to flip them out like that because they'll be quite difficult to get down inside. So just leave them sort of flat like that, and then you can push one down inside the other. I've got some little bits and pieces here that are just going to add off the finishing details to this, and of course you could use them from any die set that you've got. There are lots of little bows and different die sets that you could add on here, but I just wanted to use what's here, but you feel free to go ahead and adapt whatever you have. I have cut out a little tiny triangle, and that is going to be the little nose, so I didn't use a die for that at all. That is just hand cut, and it's going right on there. So there we have them, and because I'll take that off, because this is glitter card, the glue does tend to slide around just a little bit for a minute or two, so you have a minute or two to work with that to get it into the right place, just wherever you think the little beak should go. Ah, yeah, we'll have it there. Now, I have taken this little die, as you can see, from the set, and I've cut that out twice in red, and then I've got a little hole punch there. And you see just where the neck comes in here, I'm going to add this as a little bow. So I'm just going to glue there, right in there. And the other one. And I'm actually only adding glue in the center of this. So in a minute or two, hopefully if the glue hasn't spread too much, I'll be able to just add a little bit of dimension by flicking the edges of those up. And there we have it. And then just a little hole punched circle, and that's going to go in the center. Now, I just want to add a little bit of dimension by flicking those edges up like that. And there we are. Oh, he's so cute. And we can pop him on here. Now I have got two more of these. I've actually got several cut because I'm going to use them for some of the other penguins as well. And I know they're not exactly very feet-like, but that's what I'm using for the feet, and I think they'll look really good. So that's going on there, and this one is going on the other side. And then I'm just going to take another hexagon that I've used. Oopsie, I'll take that off again. I'm going to pop that on there. That's the little feet. And then I'm going to take another one of these and just put it over the top, and that covers all of the glue tabs. But just make sure you have those little feet showing. And you'll be able to catch a little bit more of them and hold them more securely once you put this other piece on there. And there you have them. And now I'm going to go ahead and make the other two sizes up. I've got them ready, but I just need to add these details on. Well, I went back in again with this one after I had put the piece on here to cover that and hold the feet in, and I thought the eyes were just a little bit too small, and I didn't have a hole punch that was the right size for that. So I came across this little die in the set, and that's from the smallest penguin, and it actually cuts out this tiny circle in the middle. So I have cut that out twice and taken those two circles and given this penguin just slightly bigger eyes there. Then I went on to the tiny penguin. Oops, he's dislocated. And I have put a little bow on there. Now there was a tiny triangle in the set. There it is. I have used that for his little dicky bow, and then a tiny hole punch in there, and again flicked out his little wings, and he's rather cute. And I didn't bother putting the white pieces down here because I thought a tiny penguin looked really fine with that, like that as well. So there we are with two, and then I went on to the bigger one, and again I have used the circle punch that I had, just a hole punch for the eyes in this one that gave bigger eyes on it, and then the little triangle die that I've just shown you there that I used for the little bow on this one, I was able to use then for the nose, or the beak on this one here, and I've glued that on. And again we've got the little dicky bow here and lovely big wings. So I thought I was really pleased, and I think they've turned out really lovely, and I'm so happy that that's just another way that I can use that die set. Now I have a little admission to make. I forgot what age I was, I got a bit carried away, and I've made a few little accessories for them as well. Yeah, bear with me. So on this big one here, I decided that he should have some earmuffs, and I had two little pom-poms that sort of matched in with the bow, and I just took a strip of card, and there you have it. And I'm not going to glue it on because my final photos probably won't have those on, but I just thought that was a lovely little addition to that. That's really cute and so easy to make it. I actually just slit a little piece in both of those little pom-poms and slipped the card down in, and oh, it is cute, isn't it? So that's him. Then on the little one, I've made a little scarf just out of card, again to match his bow, and that slips on over there. You can see his little bow peeping up there, but I just gave a little bit of fringing to that as well, and there we are. And there you have it. Now on this one, I decided, because I had already given him a red bow, I thought a Santa hat would be nice, and I just happened to have some red felt, so I used my glue gun and I glued that together. And this is actually from the Santa and Friends die set, the little holly berries and whatnot, and I have made a little Santa hat for that one. It's detachable. I'm not going to add it on because it's just a bit of a silliness at the end, and I'll probably not use them, but I just wanted you to see what they looked like. So I will add some photos of this at the end as well, with all of these bits and pieces on, and I hope you enjoy that bit of silliness as well. I did enjoy it, I have to say. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you enjoy getting extra ideas from these die sets too, because really and truthfully there's hardly one die set that I've ever come across that I have found only one use for, and I'm quite sure that you have found other uses for sets as well that I haven't even thought of. So let's all share them. You can tell me what you do with your die sets too. But there's my little penguin family, and I'm going to put them to bed for the night now. That's me finished. If you've enjoyed the video and enjoy the type of video that I make, maybe you'd like to subscribe to my channel as well and hit the notification bell, and that way you'll be kept up to date with everything as it comes along and you'll not miss any of the videos. So I hope to see you again soon, but don't forget that my affiliate links for all of these things will be down below in the description as well. And I do always appreciate everybody who uses those because I get a little commission from that, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. Lastly, but not leastly, if you have enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and leave me a little comment. That means a lot to me. I love to keep in touch with you, as you know, and sometimes I don't get back just right away, but I do answer as many of the comments as possible. In fact, I don't think I've missed any so far. So thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much for keeping in touch, and I hope to see you again soon. In the meantime, happy crafting. Bye bye.